Good morning, my dear children. This is P. Vasantakumar, social teacher from DAV High School, SDSTPS AP Gen Code, Naltur. Welcome to the chapter Ideas of Development. In the earlier classes, we learned define development, explain different development goals of individuals, describe income and other goals, how to compare different countries or states, explain income and other criteria, illustrate public facilities, and interpret Human Development Index Part 1. Learning objectives of this lesson. By the end of the chapter, you will be able to illustrate Human Development Index Part 2, interpret development as progress over time. Previous session, we learned some parts of Human Development Index. Remaining part you are going to learn in this session. No, these when we take together, they will derive the HDI. We learned these each part separately in the last session. My dear children, let's see example. First, you read about information. After you read, HDI value of India in 2013 is 0.58. So, what we'll do in this example? With these figures which we have, we will try to find out this 0.58. How this 0.58 is arrived when these figures are given. Let's see why these figures are important. Because we want to increase HDI value. If we want to increase HDI value, we have to improve these 4 dimensions. If we improve these 4 dimensions, automatically HDI value will be increased. If we can improve HDI value, we can increase ranking of HDI, which is the prime objective of any country. Now let's see how to calculate these 4 dimensions. Let's see dimension index calculation. First one, life expectancy at birth. The HDI measures life expectancy from 20 to 85 years. Here, life expectancy in India 65.8 years. So, life expectancy at birth is equal to India's life expectancy 65.8 years minus minimum required life expectancy is 20 by, here the maximum life expectancy is 85 minus minimum expectancy 20. After calculate, life expectancy at birth is equal 0.705. Second one, average years of schooling. The HDI measures average years of schooling from 0 to 15 years. Average years of schooling in India 4.4 years. Average years of schooling is equal to that India's average years of schooling is 4.4 minus minimum average years of schooling is 0 by maximum average years of schooling is 15 minus minimum 0 is equal, after calculate average years of schooling is 0.293. Now third one, expected years of schooling. The HDI measures expected years of schooling from 0 to 18 years. Expected years of schooling in India 10.7 years. Expected years of schooling is equal, in India expected years of schooling is 10.7 minus minimum expected years of schooling according to HDI measures 0 by maximum is 18 years minus minimum 0 is equal, after calculate, expected years of schooling is 0.594. Fourth one, per capita income. The HDI measures per capita income from $100 to $17,000. Here, per capita income in India is $3,285. Per capita income is equal log. In India, $3,285 minus log minimum per capita according to HDI $100 by maximum US dollars according to HDI measures 17,000 minus minimum log $100 is equal to 1.516 by 2.230. After calculate, per capita income is equal to 0.680. HDI. So HDI is nothing but the geometric mean of these three dimensions. When we take geometric means of these three dimensions, we will get our HDI. Let's see geometric means of these three dimensions. 0.705 and 0.443 and 0.680. After calculation, HDI of India in 2013 is 0.58. This is Human Development Index report in 2013. So let's see, if you compare the data in the table above, you will be surprised to see that Sri Lanka, which is a small country, is much ahead of our country in each and every aspect. And also, it shows that though Nepal has less than half the per capita income of India, it is not far behind India in education levels. In terms of life expectancy at birth, it is in fact ahead of India. Though many improvements have been suggested for precise calculation of HDI, it is important to realize that the Human Development Report is a mirror of the condition of the people of a country and its development. Now let us see how development has progressed over time. Children, we have seen some countries are ahead of others in terms of human development indicators. Similarly, some states have better indicators of human development, though within a state there may be variations. In states, some districts may be more advanced than other districts. Remember, comparison and ranks have little use by itself. They are only useful if these indicators can make us think in meaningful ways as to why are some so behind the others. Low performance on any of the human development indicators is a sign that certain aspect of people's lives need more attention. We should ask, why are some ahead of others? Why are many more children in Himachal Pradesh going to school on an average than in other states? For knowing all these questions, let us look closely at what has come to be called the schooling revolution in Himachal Pradesh. It has some interesting insight to offer. How so many factors need to come together to make change possible. Development is indeed a complex phenomenon. Himachal Pradesh had very low levels of education at the time of Indian independence. For spreading education to the rural areas as a big challenge, because there being a hilly region with a low density of population. Both the government of Himachal Pradesh and the people of the state were keen on education. Now we will see how to translate this aspiration to reality for all the children. The government started schools and made sure that education was largely free or costs very little for parents. Further, it tried to ensure that these schools had at least the minimum facilities of teachers, classrooms, toilets, drinking water facilities, etc. As the years went by, these facilities were improved and expanded. More schools were opened and teachers were appointed so that many more children could study easily. Of course, to open schools and run these well, the government had to spend money. Among the Indian states, Himachal Pradesh has the distinction of one of the highest spending from the government budget on education of each child. The average spending on education by the government in Indian states was 1,049 rupees per child in 2005, but Himachal Pradesh was spending 2,005 rupees per child. In an intensive survey on schooling done in 1996 and repeated in 2006, the surveyors noted students in Himachal Pradesh come to school enthusiastically and overwhelming proportion of students enjoyed their schooling experience. Their students' opinion on teachers, the teacher loves us and teaches us well. Then the attendance rate was very high in primary classes and also among older children. Children had dreams of studying till higher classes and aspirations to be policemen, scientists and teachers, etc. We know, my dear children, in many parts of the country, girls' education is still given less priority by parents compared to boys' education. While girls may study for a few classes, they may not complete their schooling. A welcome trend in Himachal Pradesh is the lower gender bias. The parents became increasingly ambitious with respect to education goals of their children. The Himachal Pradesh government made at least 10 years of schooling mandatory for every child in the state. The merits of these initiatives were that a very high percentage of girls completed their primary education and moved to secondary classes. We will be shocked. Why is the gender bias less? Besides education, this can be seen in other areas as well. Child mortality in Himachal Pradesh is lower for girls than for boys, in contrast to most other states. Another major consideration is that many Himachali women are themselves employed outside the home. Women who work outside the homes are economically independent and self-confident. They have greater say in household decisions, including children's education, health, birth, maintenance, etc. Being employed themselves, Himachali mothers expect their daughters to work outside home after marriage. Schooling, therefore, comes naturally and has become a social norm. It has been seen that Himachali women have a comparatively high involvement in social life and village politics. Active Mahila Mandals can be found in many villages in Himachal Pradesh. Let us understand, compare the progress in school education over time in Himachal Pradesh with the average of the Indian states. Percentage of girls with more than 5 years of education. In Himachal Pradesh 1993 39%, in 2006 that is 60%. If you compare with India, in 1993 28, but in Himachal Pradesh in 1993 39, and in 2006 that is in India 40, but if you compare with Himachal Pradesh that is 60. Percentage of boys with more than 5 years of education in Himachal Pradesh in 1993 57, in 2006 that is 75, but if you compare with in India 1993 51, but if you compare with in Himachal Pradesh that is 57, in India in 2006 that is 57, but in 2006 in Himachal Pradesh 75. Clearly, there has been greater development in schooling and spread of education in Himachal Pradesh than India as a whole. Though there is still a lot of difference in the average levels of education among boys and girls. In the recent years, all the states have been taking initiative steps to improve towards greater equality. I hope you understood this lesson. Next session, we will meet with a new chapter. Thank you.